Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Plansetti Funeral for the service of Fletcher Lee. Before we start our service, which is led by Reverend Eric Meter, we're going to I'll play a song from one of Fletcher's songs he recorded.
Welcome everyone here in this room and observing this service later for those that can't be here today. Welcome everyone to this homegoing service for Mr. Fletcher Lee. I'm the Reverend Eric Meter, interim minister of the Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church up in Racine, where Fletcher used to attend. Together in this hour, as we gather to remember and to give thanks for who Fletcher was, let us remember that each of us will grieve in different ways, and in different ways at different times. We may regard the mysteries of life and death in different ways as well. In this space, there is room for each of our understandings of faith and life as we remember Fletcher Lee and contemplate once again our own mortality. There is no weakness in shedding tears and no strength in pushing them away. Grief, born out of our love and deep connection, simply is. There may be times when we are filled with appreciation and gratitude, and times when the only fitting response to a specific memory is laughter. This is what it means to be human with hearts that are open to love and appreciation. During our time together now, we may also discover, even in small ways, how to better live our own lives, to understand more clearly, how to find faith and courage, and to live with love, no matter what, as we face life's challenges and realize the depth of our abilities as well as our own inevitable limitations. And now, before we continue, let us bow our heads in prayer. Dear loving God, be with us here this hour. We have lost someone dear to us. Fletcher Lee is gracing you with his presence now, with his music, with his smile and easy demeanor. May we feel within us now your everlasting presence, as close to us as the beating of our own hearts. Grace us with the understanding that while we have lost a beloved companion, all is still well. Affirm once more in our times of doubt that we will all have a joyous homegoing when our time comes. Renew our faith that love abides and is forever stronger than fear or any suffering. Touch us with your mercy in our moments of challenge and sorrow, even as you call us forward once more to continue your work here on earth. May we know we are loved and we are needed to continue bringing your divine will to bear. And that when we find ourselves doing so, we may notice we're working to the beat Fletcher laid down so faithfully, so lovingly, and so consistently well throughout his years. Amen. And now, Fletcher's granddaughter, Zara, has a reading for us.
Would Alec and Clara please join me? This journey's just begun. Everyone has gone away. This journey has just begun. Life holds so many facets, and Earth is only one. Just think of him as resting from the sorrows and the tears, in a place of warmth and comfort, where there are no days and years. Think how he must be wishing that we could know today how nothing but our sadness can really pass away. And think of him as living in our hearts of those he's touched. For nothing loved is ever lost, and he was loved so much.
Thank you. Well done. In just a few moments, there will be a time for those who would care to come forward, stand before the microphone, and offer short reflections, memories, recollections of who Fletcher was to you. But first, Fletcher's sons, Peyton and Jordan, have written this for me to read to you. In their words, "Our dad was hands down the biggest influence in our lives. There are obvious things. The stage. At a very young age, we saw the power of music and its ability to create love and positivity for others. Witnessing that as a child had a profound impact on the things we chose to do as we grew into adults. From the theater to performing music to producing events, our Father never sat down and taught us these lessons, but he showed us through his work that we have the power to bring great joy into people's lives when we do things with love. The drums. For us, the drums are more than just an instrument we like to play. Drums feel like a birthright. The older we grow, the more we have learned how important the drum is, the foundation of so much culture and music throughout the world. The drum is the foundation of all the music that we create and enjoy. This is all thanks to our Father. Love. We learned more about love from our Father than he ever realized. The way my father supported and loved our mother was a life lesson in how to love, and how the more you love, the more you invest in love, the greater and deeper and richer it grows and becomes. My father's actions told us so much more about love than his words did. Not to say that he didn't give us strong words of love and encouragement, but the way he supported us and my mother, our wives and our children, showed us that love is something you can express through actions. We learned later in life that our father was loved by so many because his words and his actions always came from a place of love. There's so many reasons to love our father. He was fun. He was cool. He was a sharp dresser. He had an incredible laugh. Always smelled good. And so many people loved him for all these reasons and more. We love him because he gave so many gifts and talents to us. We see how his love will continue to grow through us and our children. That's why the greatest gift you can ever give a person is, of course, and always, love. Are there folks here who would like to come forward and share a few words at this time? Many of you have been here for a while. I know that you've been reminiscing, and I imagine that reminiscing will continue. But if there's something you would like to say from this space, you have the opportunity now.
Hello again. As you guys know, I just read a poem, but it didn't really feel right because I was reading something that someone else wrote, and it wasn't true to Papa. I think that he was a really, really great person. He was very, very loving and very supportive and very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, doll, Eddie's, the biggest memory that I have is that he always really loved chocolate. It's kind of funny and weird, but he did really love chocolate. Also, he did have a great laugh and a great smile. And as Peyton, my dad, wrote, he always did smell good. I don't think he ever really is going to be gone. I think he's always going to stay with us. I think he's always going to be with us through
Zara was his first little girl. When she was first born, Fletcher was her babysitter. He took care of her. You're her special girl, you sweetie. We love you so much.
That's what love looks like, folks. Would anyone else like to come up, please?
Hello, I'm Veronica Darlene. Uncle Fletcher was just not my uncle. He was like a big brother. And one of my fondest memories, and I will never forget it, is the Christmas. I was 8, and I wanted a typewriter. And my mother bought me a real typewriter. Had the cover on it, the manual typewriters. I was so excited. However, that was a Christmas that my father wasn't there. And I remember he called, and I cried the whole Christmas because Daddy wasn't there. And I tell you, Uncle Fletcher did everything in his power to get me to stop crying that day. He was teaching me how to type, and when I think back, and I just think the love that he showed me on that day, because he knew that little girl was hurting, you know, it's just, he was just my Uncle Fletcher. When I looked, it was everything about him. You know, so I think back to the days when he was traveling everywhere. And when he was coming back to D.C., man, my mother would have whatever Fletcher wanted. And you know, when it comes to drums, she bought his first set of drums as a kid. And she said, man, he used to buy those things that would drive me crazy because she wasn't nice. But it didn't matter. Anything for her Fletcher. Anything for her Fletcher. That's how she was. And Jean knows. Anything for her Fletcher. And he was the same way for her. Yeah, he was the same way. So I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. No matter what, we're not thinking about anything as long as we got here.
That's good.
So thank you guys.
Thank you,
I
guys.
love you all.
Oh, say something here. Hello, what's everybody doing? Just to kind of touch on what Darlene was saying, that translated in my life because Fletcher did whatever I needed. You know, he wanted everybody to be happy, but he really did put me first. And always had the solution, you know, to my problems. You know, I remember there's times where I was having trouble in high school and, you know, nobody would have agreed that the right thing for me to do was take another day off of school. But he did, and he said, we're gonna go to a Brewers game. And I said, okay. But that helped, that was the turnaround I needed, you know. He knew me well, and, you know, he really knew how to take care of me. He was a compassionate guy, not just for me, but for everybody, you know. He wanted everybody to be happy. You know, that's why he started his company, because Jordan said, well, I never thought about it this way, but Fletcher was throwing a party for everybody. You know, he booking bands because he wanted people to be happy. You know, he booked the comedians to make people laugh, so their corporate Christmas parties could be that much better. And people could just have that little bit of, even if it was an hour of entertainment, you know that it was uplifting folks' spirits and something that they could hold on to. So, you know, well, I'm gonna, you know, miss him the most, but I have no regrets. We we checked all the boxes, and he's been a great grandfather. He, you know, cooked them breakfast like he did me and Jordan, and, you know, took care of them in any capacity that they needed to be taken care of that he could physically do, you know. Wasn't too often that no was in his vocabulary, you know. He would, if he had it, he would give it to you, you know. So he was definitely my favorite person, that's for sure, you know. He just wanted to make people feel good, and I think he made us all feel well, one way or the other. You know, everybody probably got their, story that they can share. I got 36 years worth of them, so, but I'm not going to go through all of that. But yes, he will definitely be missed, and we love you very much, Fletcher. And I love you, Dad. I'm gonna miss you every day, but you'll always be with me. I'll be thinking about you for the rest of my life, and I'll be telling my son how cool you were. That's for sure. It was definitely the coolest grandpa around, ain't no doubt about it. So we will fly through those pictures and go down memory lane and tell him a little bit about, how Fletcher really did it. But we love him. I'm gonna miss you, Dad. And, I love you.
Anyone want to follow that class act? Seriously, anyone else?
That's it. I want to over.
My name is Mick O'Kelly. I had the pleasure of 6.5 years working with Fletcher on the road, and I didn't think I would be out there so long, but Fletcher was such a great band leader and a great friend, and it was just so fun to work with him. And as we'd go in hotels and we'd play all these different places, he shared just the right touch of fairness and kindness to everybody. People at the front desk, everybody. So I just want to say that's been an inspiration that comes back to me weekly. So I just want to thank Fletcher and thank Jean for having the band at her house all the time and all the great times we had. It was inspiring, and definitely going to mention Fletcher so much.
Anyone else? We'll continue. Thank you to everyone who has spoken. It's true. Fletcher's death has created a void in our lives that can only be filled by faith and remembering the love, music, and happy memories he left behind. Yet, we know in abstract ways that love never ends, but let's be a little more particular here. Love never ends. Our dead live on through us and in us, in the ways they have shaped us and in our memories of them. Trust that your memories and that the best of who Fletcher was, all of this will live on in you. For all of us that know sadness at this time, these words. There is finally only one thing required of us. That is to take life whole, the bright and dark together, to live the life that is given us with courage, humor, and truth. We have such a short moment out of the vastness of time for all our wondering and loving. Therefore, let there be no half-heartedness. Rather, let our souls be ardent in facing grief, in yearning, and in offering praise. Then may peace enfold our days, and grace shall not fade from our lives. And now, as we have come together to remember and to give thanks for Fletcher's life and time with us, it's time to say goodbye. Fletcher, farewell. Humbly we stand in the face of death. Confidently we stand with life. Our strength is the strength of many. Indeed, it is the strength of all humanity throughout time, because we share one fate and a great compassion. May understanding go with us, and peace too, that we may live together in generosity, compassion, and joy. In this spirit now, let us, individually and together, go forth to live with love renewed. Go in peace, my friends. Go in peace. But not before we listen to one more song. This is Sarah Vaughan's "What Are You Doing the Rest of Your Life?" It was featured in Fletcher and Jean's wedding ceremony.
Thank you, Reverend Peter. This concludes our service for Frederick. I just want to say, when I first met Peyton, he always referred to his dad as Fletcher. I said, Fletcher? I thought, well, I don't know what's going to do, but Fletcher. I said, okay, that's kind of casual. But then hearing him talk and knowing Fletcher meant so much more than Fletcher. It was his dad, it was his partner, it was his friend, and all that makes him his mentor. So Fletcher means a lot more than just Fletcher. His dad. His dad. So at this time, I'd like to thank you for being here and invite the guests at the back of the room to come and pay their final respects to Fletcher. And God bless all of you.